Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering today. It's a new series, Basketball Wives Orlando, which airs every Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on VH1. I appreciate everyone for coming to this channel. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, share it, and also comment. All right, so we're gonna get into this thing, and we're gonna find out that there's a lot more entanglements. I don't really feel that bad anymore concerning the type of dating pool that I'm around, because it just seems like if you just look at the basketball circle, look like everybody just kind of fools with everybody's man. So if you think that you exclusive or been exclusive with your dude or with your girl, get out the fantasy. That's all I can say. All right, so we start off with Ashley. She's doing her photo shoot for her grand reopening ASC, Ashley Snell Collection. I think that's what it is, or whatever. She talks about that she had to close down her shop when the pandemic hit, and she really didn't know if she could really back up her shop after the pandemic, because we didn't know if we were going to get shut down again. It looks like there's another wave of the Covisha that's going around, and we don't know if we're going to get shut down again or not in real time right now. So Tony comes and supports. So it looks like for now, Tony and Ashley, they have a good team amongst themselves, and they're supportive of each other. So it looks like you done found a good one. I would say some comments, but I'm just going to leave it as the scene is going. I can say a whole lot more considering how the pilot went. So I'll be nice this episode, Ashley. Okay, so we move on to a scene with Mackenzie. Her dad, Richard, he comes down and spends time with Mackenzie to help out with the children. He's really supportive, and they have a real close relationship. We find out that Mackenzie's dad and mom have been together for over 35 years. When they asked the question, do you miss mom? I thought that maybe she passed away, but she's still alive, breathing, and thriving. I guess he just travels from wherever he comes from and spends time with Mackenzie. I did say that they have been together for 35 years, right? Mackenzie does have siblings. We don't know how many. Mr. Richard talks about her new boo, and I think his name is Richard. Yeah. She says that she's pretty private about it, and the reason that she's very private about it is because it's new to her, and she doesn't want anyone else's opinions about it. And then she's amongst this group of ladies, and she don't want nobody to have something to say. But then she also said that she's in love. I said, oh, if it's new, you on private, and you are in love. Okay, Mackenzie, I have thoughts about that, but I'll see what develops about that. Morgan has planned and is throwing a birthday party for her eldest, which is Ariana, or I think it is Ariana. It's spelled with the Eric in it, her ex. So ERIAUANUA. So there's a birthday party, and it's entitled Ari's Berryland. So it's kind of like a tropical theme. And of course, the children are happy. Of course, and the eldest daughter is the most happiest. Miss Carlita is there. They're having a good old time. They have the chef there. You know those? I think it's like hibachi restaurants where they prepare the food, like right in front of you, where you see them chopping up the meat and cooking. So they have one of those there. Well, Morgan has also invited some of the ladies, which is Lindsay. That's the redhead girl that I have some words for that I'll just speak about a little bit later. She's the pregnant lady. And also a new girl. Her name is Danielle Miller. We find out that Danielle is a former girlfriend of Richard. Richard is Mackenzie's new boyfriend. And we find out that, at least from Danielle, that Mackenzie was a side chick. She was messing around with Richard while Danielle was in a relationship with Richard. They have 2 children. I think it's a boy and girl. So it's like, it's a merry-go-round here. So what Mackenzie was upset with Nick about, possibly Mackenzie has done also, and actually did it, because Nick said she didn't know anything about it, about him being in a relationship. I forgot his name. Nick's man. I forgot who it is. So then they jump onto the subject of Ashley, and Morgan's just, I'm over it. Lindsay's like, well, where's all this smoke coming from? I don't think anybody can really trust Lindsay because it looks like she's the one that is the bone carrier. That's what my earliest prediction about her. Nick shows up. They mention Mackenzie, and that's when Danielle really goes in on Mackenzie. Nick didn't know anything about Danielle, but then as soon as Nick mentioned Mackenzie, then she knew. And Danielle mentions that Mackenzie is only 5 months into this relationship, so she's in love. Remember, she said that in the previous scene. So I was like, okay, Mackenzie, okay. I think it's easier to fall. Well, let me shut up. I won't say it yet. So the ladies are asking, how are you guys going to get along? And Danielle says, I could just ignore her. And Morgan said, cut the cap. I don't believe that's going to happen. And they were talking about, could Danielle have could y'all co-parent? And Mackenzie said, no, I don't co-parent with no side chick girlfriend. He got to put a ring on it before any type of co-parenting. And I do agree with that, because nobody temporary is just going to come into my children's life, have influence over my children's life. No, you just daddy friend or mama's friend, we ain't doing all that. So I agree with that. All right, so we move on to Milan. And now I'm understanding a little bit more of what she was talking about basketball content. So she is I don't know if she's a former player, but she's at least has played a lot of basketball growing up. Now she's a content creator for basketball, and she just shows her skills online. She shows the different type of shots that she throws and how she moves her body and all of that, because she says that there's not a lot of money to make for women in the basketball field, and I do know that. I mean, they're hardly respected. I think the first wave of when women's basketball was taken serious with the WNBA, the WNBA still exists, but who's really paying that much attention? We had the Lisa Leslie's in the 90s and in early 2000s, but I really get what the lady is, Milan is saying regarding that. We find out that she has 13 siblings, and I may be mixing it up, but Milan's mom has 9, and her dad has 6, so that means 13. So it may be flipped, but I can't remember right now. She did have a poor background, and now she's just, I don't want to say grind. Now she's on her come up and just making things happen for herself. And she wants to show women you can be it all. You can be a tomboy if you want. If you want to still look pretty and awesome and all that, go on and do it. So I think it's interesting, and I might look and see if there's other basketball content, because I didn't know it existed until I seen Milan. We move on to Ashley. She's back to, I think producers are going to make her, and I'm not saying that she's not, but it just seems like the focus is making sure Ashley's entrepreneurship is a focus in her life. So she's supposed to be taking the day off. She's not coming to the office, but she's still doing a lot of work at home, and it looks like she does need rest. Her son, I think his name is Carter, is outside getting swimming lessons. So she's going over plans, but it seems like she's stressed out. She's talking, and she thinks that her son is screaming outside. She gets up and sees like everything's fine. It's the tea kettle that's sissing over, whatever you want to call it. Basically, your tea is done, or boiling, whatever you want to call it. So she finally realizes, okay, a false alarm. So I think she probably does need rest, whatever. All right, so Megan, we move on there. It's interesting. It's getting. Megan is she's a force multiplier. Shout out to Mr. Carlos King. And she knows how to confront things head on. So Megan is meeting with Danielle, and also she's meeting with another girl that we're going to meet, Nikki, and she's also invited Lindsay along. So Danielle arrives first and for lunch or whatever they're doing, and they talk and they just catch up. They do talk about Mackenzie. Megan feels like Mackenzie they call her Rat-Kenzie or Ratatouille, because basically we find out that Mackenzie is the one that ratted out to Monique, or Morgan, that Megan did have something with her ex-husband, Aaron. So, but it was Lindsay that brought it up. And she's Megan describes to Danielle what she thinks of Lindsay. She feels like Lindsay is nice-ish. again, it's like y'all need to mind your business, and I can tell my own stuff. I don't need your help, basically. Danielle's still going in on Mackenzie, and she really just feels like Mackenzie um, did do did do something with Rashard while Danielle was with Rashard. Lindsay does arrive, and they're still talking about it. They do feel like, I guess they're just trying to come up with a. Oh, that was what was that? No, that was at the birthday party. Are you trying to see how the timelines were? Did they overlap, or did they not really know about each other? Who knows? But whatever. So Nikki arrives. We don't really get an introduction as of yet, so I think she's like a friend of right now. So at this point, Megan's about to confront Lindsay about her opening her mouth. So Megan confronts Lindsay, and she just lets her know that, hey, I don't appreciate you opening up this conversation, and I'm really hurt in regards to you just saying what you said to Morgan. I only met Morgan one time. You don't know me. We don't know each other like that. So I don't know why you would burst it out in that way. And Lindsay said, well, I understand what you're saying, and I apologize. That wasn't my intent to do. She said that since we were all going to be in this group, my mind was just to get everything out so you guys could all deal with each other, or we'll be able to handle each other. Megan just felt like, okay, it was quite aggressive, because it's like, why did you? Like, for me as a stranger right now, I would be already on guard with Lindsay at what I tell or say anything, but you didn't even say anything to Megan. Lindsay was in a conversation. We see a flashback of Mackenzie telling Morgan about Megan being, how can I say this? Megan being, what did she say? I forgot the word it was, what she actually said, but basically Eric knew Megan. So you heard that conversation, and you decided to be the bone carrier and carry a bone that wasn't even told to you. That's interesting. So she said that she always has good intentions, and she can be aggressive. She needs to be watched. I would watch her, because that's dangerous. That wasn't even yours to even tell. And you didn't even get permission to tell. You were just a bystander. That's weird to me. All right, so because Megan was like, what hurt her is that you were putting out the impression that I'm a husband effer, and that's not what it was. And I didn't even get to explain myself before you start. Like, you didn't even come to me and said, hey, what's up? I mean, not like it's your business, but you don't even got the details of anything. That's dangerous to me. All right, so we move on to a meeting. Mackenzie has invited Morgan because they just want to hash it out to see if we are good. They kind of go back and forth on what's up, and really Morgan doesn't feel like she'll be able to trust Mackenzie, because it's like how she feels about loyalty, it doesn't look right. You see how her and Ashley fell out, and the way that they fell out, and you decide to be friends with her. It's like, I don't know about that. So since you wanted to really connect with my ops like you are, I'm not going to be running up behind you to try to be besties with you. They kind of go back and forth. That Morgan be cutting her off, and because Mackenzie's not saying anything that's really making any sense. I know in the first episode, Mackenzie didn't really want to get involved, and just wanted to stay neutral. But I don't know. It's weird, because it's like, when I look at Mackenzie, if you just went through some trifling stuff with your ex, why do you want to be around people that are like that in any regards at all? Even if they carry a stench, I mean, just something like, there's a stench in the air with Ashley Snell, and everybody can't be lying on her. There has to be some truth, and you decided to be with her, and then that she's friends with her ex, with Morgan's ex. Like, what? That I don't care. I could not be a friend like that to someone knowing how they really are. Sorry. Let's see. Morgan ends up walking off and just saying, have a good day, I think, or have a good night, or whatever. And Mackenzie said, have a good night, because obviously she's annoyed by that. And it looks like, really, Mackenzie has picked a side, and Mackenzie don't really know it. She feels like even Morgan is not really saying that, I don't really want to F with you because I F with Ashley. But really, she said that during the sit down. So I don't know what you were getting from that. Milan calls her sisters Something just happened. I don't know when, but her sisters ended up running away from the home that she's staying with Milan's mother. Milan's is the older, one of the older sisters. I can say that much. They went to Miami. They rented a car and ended up wrecking the car. Right now, things are kind of unstable in the home because of her mom, Milan's mom, and the sister's mother. Mental health is spiraling down. Since Milan's brother's death, her son's death, she hasn't been the same, and it's just taking its toll on her. So Milan was talking with them and encouraging them, like, we don't want to see you go down a bad path or anything of that nature. So she invited the sisters to come to Orlando. I don't know if it's just for a visit or to actually come live with them. I don't know. But anyways, they agreed to it, and the sisters will be coming soon. All right, so Ashley's having her grand opening, and most of the ladies are there. And what she said in her confessional, I made sure that I did not invite the riffraffs. We know who that is, a.k.a. Morgan. So some of the ladies are showing up. Megan comes. She invited Danielle, but Danielle's outside. She also has Nikki, the other friend. I guess she invited a +1 plus a +1. So I don't know if those rules applied or whatever. So she talks to Ashley about it. But Ashley was like, well, I really gave you one that I wanted to invite here, blah, blah, blah. But I'm okay if everyone else is okay. Mackenzie is there. Mackenzie says, I don't have a problem with her. There's no issue with me. And Megan's like, I know that you have some problems or some issues with her. If she wants to have a conversation with me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So Megan goes and grabs Danielle and says, be ladylike, da 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 da. And Danielle was like, masters, whatever she did. She says that she's sophisticated, she's educated, she has a master's degree. So she comes inside and she does greet some people. She does talk with Ashley. And in the later scene, she talks with Ashley again just to say, hey, I am friends with Morgan, but I decided to come and to see if I can try to make my own opinion for you and about you. And Ashley said that she appreciated that and she's glad about that, blah, 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 blah. So Megan, I don't want to say this, she stirs the pot in a way that I don't know if she was trying to stir it, but at least to get the story moving. Megan was like, let's get you and Mackenzie together. And then Danielle says that I'm not going to no side B. Of course, the girl can hear it. Mackenzie hears it. And then she was like, he said that you would say that, basically Eric's, or I think that's his name, not Eric, whatever his name is, Rashard, would actually say that. Danielle said, oh yeah, I'm glad he said it, because I definitely do mean it, and I do believe that you are the side chick. I'm gonna say that. I think she might have kept saying side B. And at the meantime, Mackenzie's like, Ashley, can you put in your phone side B? And she was like, well, the definition of a side B is someone that's messing around with, and you were doing it. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but that's basically Danielle's word and truth. And then she says, well, I got screenshots, I got audio, I got all this. I said, oh, I mean, she's got it. There's something there tangible. At this point, they're going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Mackenzie said, we can have a conversation. When you calm down, we can do this. For me, I think that I wish Danielle hadn't come in all rah-rah, because you weren't really getting that energy, as far as we know, from Mackenzie. Danielle says, I don't understand why you are acting this way, because you were just in the same situation that I was in with Neek. And that is weird. That is weird. Mackenzie, first you're in love, at least 5 months in. I don't know when you became in love with him, but it's like you just went through this. We even seen the footage of what you were doing last year towards Neek, and there's no red flags that come up for you. That's interesting. So eventually Danielle just leaves because Ash is basically, let's go. Megan takes her and they run up out of there. Not run up out of there, but So the last scene is Morgan and Danielle. Danielle comes over to Morgan's home and gives her an update on what happened at Ashley's place. And she says that I called her a side B. And you would say that. He would tell you to say that. So at that point, that she really knows that Rashard is manipulating this girl. And then Morgan said in her confessional right now, Mackenzie is that type of person that would believe a guy. I mean, if you follow up behind Ashley and is able to stick up under a guy that you know is a serial cheater, okay. But Morgan feels like Mackenzie is just being love bombed right now. I don't get it. For Mackenzie, and we'll get into this later, I just don't understand why you don't see any signs or just have any caution, or you don't have any questions at all as to what's, maybe you were a side chick, maybe he lied to you, but it's very interesting. Mackenzie did say that the only type of communication that she had before that night, the event with Danielle, is her going in her DMs and being mad because Mackenzie was going on a trip with Rashard. So I don't know. So Danielle just breaks down because she's really hurt that she's really sacrificed a lot to be with this guy. She used to be in basketball. She has a degree. She gave up a lot following up after this ninja. She got pregnant. He basically pushed her into coming. I was going to say forced, but I'm not going to use that word. Pushed her to moving overseas. She gets over there after she got pregnant. He wanted her there so that he could actually see the baby being born. And there was complications there. She kind of faults that being overseas, being taken care of, kind of contributed to that. And it's been really hard that she sacrificed her life, a portion of her life, for this ninja that decided to step out on her. So Morgan shares a little bit of her story and her stress. They really related to each other because it's like everyone thinks that those type of women are bitter because you actually blow up, and nobody understands the magnitude of what's on them as far as them whatever they're feeling. You know, before it was just her and Eric, and now I got Ashley, the lawyers, all against me, and it's a lot to really handle. So if she's on edge, she's on edge. But when she blows up, it's for a purpose. So they both cry. She ends up saying that her 12-year-old is in therapy. She's got to go 3 times a week. She said, at least me and Eric should have been on the same team to fight for our children. But no, I'm in a child support battle with him while he goes off to the next thing. So it's interesting. And I do feel like in Danielle's situation with Mackenzie and Rashard, I did feel like, okay, I think that Rashard is really manipulating and really playing both of these women and wanting to fuel this beef. So I just put it out there. I didn't tag nobody, and Danielle ended up responding back to my tweet. So she just let me know that's exactly what's going on, and even to this day. So I said, okay. He's a clown. And I did respond back to her. I pray for your healing, peace, and protection, and that you opt out of all of the foolishness. And she says, been done with the heart. So I'm glad for her. But this dude had, she showed proof of what's going on. He was on Instagram sending them subliminal messages, you know, in those Insta stories. And I'm going to post it here as proof that Rashard is in the mess. So we can sit up here and blame Danielle because it looked like she's still hung up on him. No, it looks like this man has been taking them both, him and Mackenzie, through a strange, a carnival ride, basically. But that's all I do have. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video, subscribe, share it, and also give me your comments on what you thought of this episode. Until next time, peace.